Hey everybody, welcome to Bearded Baker Banter, the sports podcast hosted by the Bearded Baker Brothers. Welcome Trent, welcome Trey.
What's up, guys? How you doing?
Hello, hello, hello.
Doing well. It's very nice to see some football back on the television.
Yeah, that's what I'm currently watching as well, too.
It's kind of nice to see that back on there. There's a lot of preseason games this weekend, which is nice.
Yep.
There's a big game on Sunday at 4 o'clock. Preseason game, San Fran versus the Raiders.
Oh, look at that.
I don't think the All-Star Garoppolo will be playing quarterback, but
No, they're starting him, playing him whole first half. It's the Jimmy G Revenge Tour, part one.
They're not actually starting him, right?
Who knows? You know, we started Josh Jacobs week 1 last year in preseason, so he had a pretty darn good year. So why not? Keep it rolling.
Yeah.
Keep it rolling. All right. Well, hey. Go ahead.
I was going to say, it's funny. I mean, I get so excited for these games, and I start watching them and realize, like, oh, man, I mean, it's not the best football to watch, but it just means we're getting closer, and that's all that matters.
Yep.
Trey, are you telling me you don't like seeing Nick Mullins light up the Seahawks base defense with no blitzes or anything?
He did just have a nice ball, I'll say that.
Yeah, so.
What's wrong with Nick Mullins?
Oh, there he is. Oh, hey, where's he at compared to Joe Montana, Ty?
He's a couple behind Jimmy G.
Yeah.
Just kidding.
Yeah.
No, but yeah, hey, let's get into this stuff. I know we got a couple booming topics here as we hit into football season. So we're going to start off with our boomers, and Trey is going to lead us off. All right, Trey, get us going.
Yeah, so, I mean, it's the hot topic right now, and I think it should be. It's the college football conference realignment. Really, just reaction to what's been happening, what the future holds, and what you guys think is like a solution. Because right now the Pac-12 looks like it's dwindling with any competitive teams left in terms of Power Five. So
I was actually going to recommend let's pause for a second and have a moment of silence for the former conference known as the Pac-12.
Yeah.
So
4 teams left. I mean, my biggest concern with all this, though, is what is Bill Walton going to do? That's my biggest concern.
He'll find something, trust me.
I mean, he's obviously got to go to the Big Ten with UCLA.
Oh, yeah, that's true.
Conference of Champions is no more, according to Bill.
Goodness. Well, so that kind of brings – I'll kind of lead into it here, but that doesn't mean the Pac-12 is done for every sport, right? This is just college football. Am I correct, or is it every sport?
Every sport.
Okay.
Every sport.
Well, then I don't. Then personally, I don't know if this is going to be good for college sports or not in terms of the students. I mean, how are baseball players, how are college basketball players going to be traveling across the country on these like multiple times a week?
I think
Trey, even if North Carolina has to travel far, they don't take any classes anyways there at North Carolina. So
man, he's already taking digs.
They'll be all right.
Just trying to have a matter-of-fact conversation here about conferences.
Sorry.
North Carolina digs. That's fine.
But in all seriousness, this was solely a decision based on college football. No consideration, I don't think, at all for the other sports. Because if I was a student and I was going to Arizona or UCLA, and I had to travel to Penn State on a Tuesday night or vice versa, I mean, I don't know. I just don't think that's sustainable. And for college football, yeah, it's easy because it's one game a week.
Well, can I
prep for that?
Can I make a couple kind of outlooks on this? I think you're right, Trey, in saying that I feel like football is the dominating sport right now with all of these conference changes.
Right.
They're not necessarily taken and honestly, I mean, I would say you could make the argument, but I would say college basketball, is right up there. In terms of sports.
No, I think football is so far.
Right. No. But I'm saying like second to it. I'm saying second to football. So they're making all these decisions, but I really think that what you're looking at now is you're really kind of looking at the I mean, you look at the Big Ten. You brought up UCLA, USC, and you have Oregon, but then you also have Iowa and Michigan and Minnesota and Penn State, like Ohio State, like it doesn't make a lot of sense in terms geographically at all. You also think too, I mean, some of these conferences, at least from a football standpoint, have very big identities in terms of what kind of football is played. You know, you're going to get an Iowa that's going to run your double tights. All right, you're going to get, you know, somebody like a USC that's going to run some spread. I mean, it's going to be very different dynamic football, which could be exciting. I mean, I almost feel like we're getting to the point though where I feel like conferences just shouldn't even exist. If you're just gonna constantly line them up here, I think what you're gonna have to get to, if you know, Power 5, Power 4, like then do away with conferences, play 10 games, 12 games, whatever you play a season, and then I also think that this is gonna have to impact the playoffs eventually. Is now, all right, oh, you know, conference winner. Oh, is your conference winner? You know, is that the person that automatically makes the playoff? Is that something that goes into a factor? I don't think it has to be anymore, and I think you need to expand the playoff. I know they're going bigger here soon, but I think that that's what you're getting into is that do away with the conferences. It doesn't make any sense anymore.
Yeah, I echo that, Tyler. I was going to say, I think for college football, at least. But I might be too far gone now that these teams have already committed to these conferences and stuff. But I think college football should just be its own separate entity without conferences. I think other sports like basketball, baseball, field hockey, like all these other sports, I think that they should keep their conferences because it keeps them geographically located. If like I said, if it goes back to what it was, it creates like divisional rivalries, like good competition. But I think college football, if they're just going to rearrange them all, I think they just do away with it. And like you said, have like a top 25 and go based off playoffs like that and expand it.
Yeah.
I also think that they would then have to regulate their schedules, the colleges. I think that they would have to do it where you play a certain amount of teams that were over 500 the previous year and then vice versa to kind of mix that up and get the lower teams able to have an opportunity to make the playoffs as well.
For sure. Absolutely.
And I think the alarms are being sounded over there somewhere.
It's living on Main Street. That's my
I don't know. I mean, I just find it. I find it too hard to sit there and say like, get rid of conferences altogether, because then all you're going to do is you're going to. I just don't think that's possible to have a playoff that's going to be fair. Scheduling, there's too much money with these conferences and these TV networks.
Yes.
So I think that's still the biggest thing with conference football. I mean, you always sit there and look at like Notre Dame, who's independent. Now you're thinking, well, where are they going to join? Where are they going to fall? They're not dumb. They don't have to split TV money with anybody as independents with their TV deal.
Right,
I don't know. I kind of like it. I mean, I'm not upset. That's my thing. I think the Pac-12 saw the writing on the wall in the sense that, hey, the only way that we're ever going to potentially make the playoff is if you can't beat them, join them. So they joined them, right? So they joined the Big Ten. What is it called? What is
still the Big Ten, which kind of is comical.
So Big Ten, you join the Big 12, and I think now if you with the playoff expanding, you've just increased your chances of maybe not winning the conference, but still getting in because you're in a very competitive conference, right? Like, I just feel like the Big Ten basically is trying to make sure that SEC is not the only top dog conference, which them gaining Oklahoma and Texas in 2024, I mean, kind of keeps them up there, I would say, especially with the top dogs of Georgia and Alabama. So I want to say this. I think rather than just going free for all and whatnot and all independent, or as you guys are, it sounds like you're recommending, why not figure out how to do an AFC, NFC?
Yeah.
Like they do in the NFL.
Yep.
Or whether
kind of thinking along that
East-West, because then you could almost split the country in half. Now you're still getting that West Coast football, which in reality, I mean, when's the last time a West Coast team won the national championship? I probably couldn't tell you.
Right.
But you'd still get an incredible Eastern Eastern Conference, if you so call it, the playoff, like on that side. Set it up kind of like AFC, NFC, where you just have two conferences and try to get your playoff very similar to NFL format. Maybe you get, wild card weekend for college football would have me jack the hell up.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So Trenton, you brought up too, I think, the point about like, hey, let's make sure the SEC is not the only team that's in there. But I look at the teams from the Big Ten. I mean, the only team that I could really make an argument for that's in there consistently is Ohio State. Besides that, Big Ten doesn't really have anybody that's been in the playoffs. I mean, Michigan maybe one time.
Yeah, I think they were in it a couple times,
but like
Ohio State.
No,
that's
besides Ohio
that's why I
State.
said Ohio State's the only one.
Okay.
So I'm saying like if you wanted like, oh yeah, hey, we want to kind of keep up with, now you're going to put UCLA, USC, Oregon in the Big Ten. I just don't see the Big Ten being, that being the answer, because those three teams, I don't see that happening either. But I mean, if you go down and look at, say, the Big 12, or at least the old Big 12, Oklahoma, all right, had been there. You just had TCU in there. All right, you have some of these teams that are tougher in the Big 12, but I mean, now the Big 12 kind of just becomes like the little brother, in a sense where, you got a couple teams here and there, but at the same time, it's not that good of football.
Well, and
Cincinnati's in there;
like,
they made it recently, but like,
I think that they either need to cut down the conferences to two or three, like Trent kind of suggested. I like the East and West. That's a good idea.
Yeah, it is a great idea.
Or I think they need to do away with it, because like really calling these five conferences Power 5 conferences is not true anymore.
Right.
Big 12, Tyler, like you said, they have some decent teams, but not nearly as competitive as the SEC, or as what they were gonna be with Oklahoma and Texas and so on. But Pac-12 that's just a joke at this point.
Yeah.
Like what? Who
it
is
a joke.
Cal?
I mean,
Cal is the best team. Stanford, maybe.
Yeah, Cal, Stanford, Washington, and
no, Washington's in the Big Ten.
Oh yeah, you're right.
It's Cal, Oregon State, Washington State,
Washington,
and
Washington,
Stanford.
My fault. Yeah, it is kind of a joke. You could even, I mean, let's take it a step further. Maybe even as opposed to going East and West, maybe even, an East, a Midwest, and a West or something. You know what I mean? Where you have like, you split the country in thirds, and now you got, that way it's not, huge.
Yeah. Yeah, but aren't you just if you go thirds, aren't you just gonna run into having a Pac-12 all over again? Like that, they were the West.
Yeah, so, but I mean, like I said, everything's kind of just going by the wayside now. But my question, and to Trey's point, when he brought up like that aspect of other sports, all right, baseball and basketball, and where you got multiple games sometimes a week.
Yeah,
I think that kind of goes to the fact that I think these conferences are looking at this and saying, and I'm not saying this should be the case, but I think you're almost looking at it like, well, there's going to be tutors. If you want to get your degree, you can get your degree, because guess what? A lot of you at some of these schools are going to be making a crap load of money with NIL deals. I don't know. I mean, it's very, very interesting to kind of look at those things. So
yeah, and I kind of think that's like messed up in a way though, Tyler, because those guys, I mean, ultimately they do want to get their degrees, and now they're just at the mercy of this college conference realignment that they didn't originally sign up for. I don't know.
But I'm saying, do they?
I don't think it'd be good for I don't think it'd be good for the colleges either. And you can say the NIL money, but only a few guys are getting substantial money at certain schools.
Yeah.
College basketball, the second option player at a solid D1 school is probably not getting a lot of NIL money.
But you're making money. You're making money.
Are you though? Yeah. I mean, I'd like to see. I don't know the numbers, so I would like to see that.
Yeah, that's a good point. We should bring that up at some point. We should find the numbers and see some averages with sports too, which would be kind of cool. Maybe we'll bring that on next episode.
But I think if the colleges and the academic programs at those colleges kind of take that stance, Tyler, of there's tutors, figure it out. I think it's going to be bad for the schools and bad for kids, really, in general.
Yeah, I'm not disagreeing with that. I'm not saying it's a good thing.
Yeah.
But my point is,
I just think I think this decision was made solely on football because of how much revenue it brings in.
Totally, absolutely.
That's all.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. You are losing some of these good rivalries though. Like some of these, looking at the schools and stuff, they're not now. They may not play now. Well, since an out of conference one, which kind of stinks too.
And that's why I like the idea of having no conferences. Like, have just a standard ranking, and then have the schedule be regulated. Where, all right, if you have this certain win percentage, then next year you have to play this amount of like this amount of people, and these amount of people that didn't finish quite that high in win percentage, and then just regulate the schedule like they do in the NFL, so that way these top schools aren't constantly playing the top schools, and it just weeds out the lower ones. Like, make it, I don't know, and expand the playoff trend, like you said, make a wild card weekend. I think they could really just do away with it.
So what
go ahead.
I was gonna say, can I also make one other point, and then I'll let you finish, and Trent, you can go too. I mean, are we looking at this now from the realignment with college football stuff? Are we looking at this now and saying, okay, listen, these are the only conferences that can make the NCAA playoff? Anybody else that's not in any of these conferences will not make it, period. No matter what your record is.
I think essentially, unless they go undefeated and they play schools from those other conferences.
But even then, I mean, look how hard Cincinnati fought to get in there, and they didn't even have a loss, and they almost didn't make it. Is that what we're saying? And Cincinnati's in the Big 12.
Now
so,
right?
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying is like, is that what we're saying now? So do we get to a different tier now? Where, hey, do you have Division 1A? Do you have Division 1B? And right now I know we have sub-conferences, all right, or subdivision, which I always mix it up, FCS, FBS. I don't know what the heck is what. I wish they would have kept it D1 subdivision, because that was at least easy to know. But, like, I know we already have that, but I also think that you're also getting some of these, subdivision D1 schools that are going up, to make money in say, conferences like the Big South. In conferences like, is anybody from the Big South ever going to make the NCAA playoff to win a championship?
No.
So what are we doing here?
You're making power conferences, and it's as simple as that. I mean, they're very, very close to a couple of the recommendations you guys said about having 2 or 3. It's very close, because let's be real.
Of D1 AA.
Yeah, don't forget the conference that was in the news earlier this year for potentially folding was the ACC, and they'll be next.
I know
they'll be next. I mean, how can, if you're Clemson right now and you are, I guess, the top dog in the ACC still, I guess there's a lot of high hopes for Florida State this year
in football,
and hell, Florida State wants to leave. They want to leave the ACC, so a lot of these schools now are going to see the writing on the wall and said, because right now, if you're an ACC school, you could win your conference. Hell, there's a chance you could go undefeated in your conference and still not be considered. If it's a 4-team playoff, they're not going to be a shoo-in, in my opinion.
I would
not with the teams in that 2024.
It goes to 8 this year, right?
Next year,
next year, yeah. Now,
so I guess the realign
will
impact that. But
I think the only battle that the ACC has is the fact of basketball.
Absolutely.
That is the basketball conference.
And that kind of completes my point. Is I don't think that this should be for every sport. I think nullifying conferences should just be a football thing. Make it its own entity, because it really is when it comes to revenue. So keep the conferences for basketball, keep them for baseball and all the other sports, because that makes sense for student athletes. But I think football should be separate than everything else.
I like your idea, Trent, with AFC, NFC, East and West stuff. I think that was a phenomenal idea.
I agree
thank
too.
You.
Yeah.
Thank you, guys. Thank you. I try. But you are right, Trey. You could do what you're saying, because Notre Dame does do that currently, where they're independent for football strictly, but then they are an ACC basketball team and all that, and baseball, I believe, too. So, yeah. I mean, I here's the thing where I'm torn is I get it. It makes everything harder on the student athlete, I guess. I don't know. You're making, in some cases, guys are making millions of dollars right now on NIL. Yeah. So while getting their education still paid for and the opportunity to play a sport. But Sorry, there's a lot of subtle jabs. I didn't expect that many to come out there. But
that was a jab,
I'm not,
a right hook, and an uppercut.
But it's nothing against them for that. I love that they can get paid through NIL because we've talked about earlier on the show. I think it's saving. I think it's saving college basketball at the moment.
Yeah.
But I'm not like, for me, I'm still excited for this.
Yeah.
Like I'm excited to see these new matchups with an Oregon coming to Penn State, like a USC playing Ohio State. Like that is phenomenal for the college football fans out there. And to be quite honest with you, there's not going to be a funnier moment when the UCLA team wakes up in their team hotel and they're in Minnesota looking at a freaking snowstorm. Right? Like I just can't wait to see these new these new matchups take place. I'm excited
until they start to say, hey, Minnesota, you have to actually build a dome to play in to adhere to these other guys.
It has to be heated, No,
I'm all for it. I understand the fuzziness in terms of how's it going to work out with the playoff. Is it ever going to be? I mean, right now, guys, I am so sick of seeing the same 4 or 5 teams in the playoff as it is.
But I think you're still going to see that, though. I don't think this is changing it.
Maybe not, though, because haven't you made these conferences more competitive?
It doesn't matter. You're going to dethrone. Alabama's always going to be Alabama. Georgia, at this point in time, I don't know how long they'll reign, but I don't see them going anywhere for a long time. I don't know. I mean, at this point in time,
might overtake Alabama.
They just as well may. I mean, you look at how many draft picks they're bringing out and the guys that they're bringing out, like it's nuts. Yeah. I don't know. I mean, I think the SEC is obviously the dominant conference. The Big Ten is competitive within itself, and you got a couple of outliers with some teams. I just think
it's going to be. I'm the trend. I like the matchups. I think it's going to be more fun games to watch. Sure. But I'm just going to be kind of laughing to myself when they advertise it as a Big Ten matchup.
Yeah.
Or this Big 12 showdown between Houston and UCF tonight.
They need to change names too, because
that's what I mean. That used to mean something. Like Oklahoma, Texas could be playing it, but no, it's Rice and North Texas.
Right.
I don't know. I just think it's silly, and that's why I think I like the new matchups. I like these. Putting air quotes for people that can't see, Big Ten matchups that'll be coming and whatever else, but it's just, I think it's silly.
Yeah.
Just
go do away with the conferences.
Super silly. Just super silly.
It's the silliest thing ever.
I just like that you've been using silly right now to describe this.
Because that's the only way to talk. It's stupid.
Just makes you think of silly string.
Silly string? Silly putty? I don't know.
Oh, silly string. Remember silly string? You can squirt silly string at people. Remember that?
Yeah, I know. That stuff stunk.
Well, and silly putty, right? You can actually get the comics.
in an egg.
No, but you can get the comics off the newspaper back in the day.
I was gonna say.
Back in my day, we used to get the comics off the newspaper.
Comic strips and newspapers. Oh man.
I'm actually only 36, so not that old. I don't know. I feel pretty old. All right, so moving along. Are we ready to move along?
Yeah, let's do it.
I think we could definitely revisit this in some fashion. A couple different things, because obviously college football is about to hit full force. So we got a lot of college football discussions and episodes coming up here very shortly. We are going to transition a little bit here to the NFL. Topic I want to bring up as my boomer is some of the future free agents here of 2024. I did send you guys a list of 20, which, I can also post this list of 20 to our listeners tomorrow with the episode at some point in time, maybe in the comments on Twitter or X or whatever we're calling it these days. A little confusing for me myself. But what we're looking at here is some top free agents. Who do you guys see as the top free agent? Who are some surprises? Who's going elsewhere? Who's staying where they're at? I mean, that's kind of where I'm going with this. But if you guys don't mind, I just want to kind of quickly touch on one of the top free agents that was out there that was on the list that was Nick Bosa, and he's not going to be a free agent in about a week or two.
Sounds biased.
Super
See,
biased.
I didn't really get to go through the list too much yet, but looking at it now, Tyler, and I don't see him on there. So
he's not. I had him on there. I took him off.
Wow! See, literally left. He left Bosa off. Wow.
Yeah, because he's not going to be a free agent.
I see you have Rashawn Gary on there.
Sure do.
Yeah.
All right, so real quick, I'll just list them off. I got T. Higgins, Chris Jones, Montez Sweat, Rashawn Gary, Calvin Ridley, Kirk Cousins, Mike Evans, Saquon Barkley, Jonathan Taylor, Chase Young, Ryan Tannehill, Josh Jacobs, J.K. Dobbins, Austin Eckler, T.J. Hockenson, Tyler Boyd, Derrick Henry, Tony Pollard, Hollywood Brown, and Michael Thomas was the 20 list I came up with. So, surprises, staying, who's not staying. What do you guys think?
Well, I can tell you who's not staying, and that's Jonathan Taylor.
Ooh, yeah.
Next year or after this year?
Heck, it might even be sometime this year. Who knows? I think him and the Colts right now are not on good terms, especially the owner. But yeah, I think he definitely won't be a Colt in the next 2 years.
But I've also kind of seen though that it is the agent change. Is Jonathan Taylor changed agents and all of a sudden out of nowhere now he's getting greedy, and I do feel like Jim Irsay is kind of calling his bluff in this sense. And I don't know. I mean, it goes into Trent's recency bias. What have you done for me lately? Not saying that they gave him the ball last year.
I think Taylor might be trying to get ahead of his future issue. I know running back contracts are a huge topic, and I think his little scuffle is maybe, like his agent and him trying to get ahead of it. Like, hey, dude, like, don't fall into this trap. You got to get paid. You might as well bring it up now. So it's be a squeaky wheel type of thing.
Yeah. I don't know. I don't know if that's going to work. Trent, what are you seeing with some of the free agents here?
Well, I think both of the Bengals receivers, Tyler Boyd, T. Higgins, I think they're both returning.
Yeah.
I don't think the Bengals are gonna let it happen. I think they're gonna work out. They haven't paid Joe Burrow yet, correct?
No, not yet. But that's.
I think they're going to be able to.
It's in the works.
Yeah, I think they're going to be able to figure out a deal that's going to take care of Joe Burrow well enough. It's going to be the highest contract because it's how quarterback contracts work.
He said he didn't want that though.
But up front, I think what he'll do is they'll be able to work out his contract enough to take care of him. Yet it won't prevent them from signing the weapons around him. So I think those two guys stay where they're at. Mm-hmm. The guys that I guess I want to say the guy that jumps out to me this year was Saquon Barkley because it was kind of weird how much of a fuss he was making about the disrespect and let's host a Zoom meeting and let's make all these public. Hold on.
That was all him.
Hold on, it was him.
Zoom thing.
It was him, but along with Josh Jacobs, who's on this list. But the one thing I like, but I'm also anxious to see is Saquon bet on himself, and with all those incentives, and he's saying, I'm going to do this year and prove you need to pay me. I'm anxious. I guess I'm most anxious to see what happens with him.
He did actually take the trade deal.
What's that?
Said he did take the trade deal. I mean, Trey literally on our episode talked about it, the deal that he needs to take.
But remember, too, now, here's where I think he backed himself into a corner is – he did not sign anything that said that the Giants can't franchise tag him next year now. So he's back to square one next year. He was pissed that he got franchise tagged. So then he agrees to a $1 more million. I say
12,
that like
12, right? 11.
But instead of 10.1, he took $11 million. Yeah. So it's like, okay, but now next year, let's say you do what you just did last year again, actually stayed healthy for once, and now you're just franchise tagged again because you can't come to agreement because I'm confused by that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
The guy that I think is going to make I'm anxious to see what Chase Young does.
Yes.
With that Washington team, my biggest fear is they say Pittsburgh has a lot of interest in trying to get him. Yeah, and that would be, that's a scary front if you sit there and have Chase Young and Watt.
Yeah.
But that scares me there. So those are the big ones that kind of jump out to me. And what I can't believe is I have not talked about Derrick Henry.
Yeah.
Actually, that's what I was going to say. I think there's two guys that stay, and I think Saquon's one. I think Calvin Ridley, and the third would be Derrick Henry.
That's good. That's a solid 3.
Can I tell you one that's not going to have a team to play for?
Yeah. Can I real quick? Let me, because you kind of led me into it, Trent. I do want to mention the Chase Young thing because I think the Chase Young and Montez Sweat free agencies are very interesting to me because if they don't keep them, then I think Washington's in a complete rebuild. I mean, those are two guys, edge rushers, we could arguably say are just as important defensively now as quarterbacks are on offense. They get the money, they get paid, and you have 2 of them up. If you can't keep, if you can keep one, good. I think Chase Young's probably the better of the 2. But those 2 stuck out to me for sure. What were you going to say, Trent?
Well, one, just to add to your Chase Young thing, didn't you guys find it weird last year how they kept saying that he was coming back? He never did.
Right.
Yeah. He never actually came back. So, what's that?
I said he was a good cheerleader on the sideline.
Yeah. I just maybe there is something up there. Maybe health wise he's not quite back. But the one guy on this list that I will say just he's not gonna have a home because he's done. You'd be stupid to sign him as Michael Thomas. Maybe I'll eat my words with that, but Michael Thomas he's. I think the guy's. To me, I think it's a joke. I think he's. I don't want to be rude, but I think he's kind of a joke. I mean, in the sense of, it's almost like he just doesn't want to play anymore, anyways. So
it's pretty amazing how he's gotten out of playing so much.
So he's done.
He kind of sounds like somebody he's related to.
Michael Thomas.
Antonio Brown.
Mike Thomas is related to. Are you sure you're not talking about Hollywood Brown being related to Antonio Brown? Because Hollywood Brown.
I will double check that, but hang on. I'm almost positive.
Well, I thought you were gonna say Hollywood Brown. To be honest.
No,
who's Michael Thomas with the Ravens right now?
No, Michael. Am I thinking of the correct Michael Thomas? Michael Thomas with the Saints.
Yeah, I think he got traded.
No, he's not.
I think he's signed with another team.
No, he's still a Saint.
Oh, man! Now we're all looking at this.
Let's get our research team on this. Will you get us this?
I could be wrong.
Michael Thomas is
Michael Thomas is related to somebody. Hold on.
Well, is he? Somebody.
He's a Saint, he said.
I think he's still a Saint.
Wow, is it Keyshawn Johnson?
I think you're making up. I think you're making up relations.
No, it's Keyshawn Johnson.
Really?
Yeah, he's the nephew of Keyshawn Johnson. I don't know where in the world did I get Antonio Brown from. It might have been the Hollywood Brown because I have Hollywood Brown, Michael Thomas listed back to back. Maybe I mixed them up, but no. He is related. Yeah, he's related to Keyshawn Johnson. He's the nephew of Keyshawn.
Okay.
Okay, so
that's interesting.
I take all the Antonio Brown stuff back. I just said.
Yeah, thank you, research team. Thank you. And Trey, we got confirmation. Michael Thomas is still a Saint, right?
Yeah, he is.
I believe so.
Yeah, he is.
Yep. So he will no longer be playing in the NFL after this.
You don't think he's going to play at all?
No, I don't think so.
Huh?
I don't think.
That's interesting.
No, I think it's either going to be, hey, health related. I can't stay healthy. I have to step down, or I just don't think anybody's going to want him. I mean, how can you trust bringing him in on a contract when in reality it just seems like he's, like Trey said, he's trying to figure out ways to not play but still get paid.
Yeah.
So
Milking the teat.
Whoa,
Whoa,
okay, Trey,
hey, whoa.
I mean, geez.
Hey, real quick, couple guys I think that will and won't be there. Will be there. I think that Tony Pollard will still be a Cowboy.
Yep.
I think Derrick Henry definitely stays a Titan. I agree with, I think, Trey, did you say Calvin Ridley?
Oh, yeah, I think he has a good year and stays with the Jags.
I think Calvin Ridley stays. Guys I don't think that will be there. I think Eckler's going to go to somebody like the Ravens. I could see Mike Evans leaving the Bucks.
Absolutely.
I could also see.
I'm surprised he hasn't demanded a trade already.
Right, yeah, dude, I can't either.
I'm surprised he's still there.
Yeah, I could also see Ryan Tannehill retiring.
Yeah,
and I would say my question mark is Josh Jacobs. Not really sure about him.
I think he'll be on another roster this year.
This year.
Yeah,
dude, they'd be nuts too. They'd be nuts to do that.
Crash for Caleb, guys.
Yeah, but dude, you have an all-star caliber MVP quarterback.
Oh my gosh! Oh gosh, Ty.
This is disgusting.
I just kind of want to groan from you guys.
Yep. Tyler, Jimmy G goes this whole season without missing a game due to injury. I'll just buy you a beverage.
Without missing a game? How about
just
this?
Just a beverage?
Without missing a game. And he wins us 5 games.
5?
If we win more than we'll get to our team over and under.
No,
that's a part.
We are going to get that because I was going to take a big over on there.
Hold on, I'm not saying Tyler has to owe me anything if he doesn't do it. I'm just making that statement that's how what's the word? I'm lacking confidence in him. Like there's no way.
Yeah. We'll wait till the next segment here, but I say you win 9 games. With Jimmy G quarterback. At least.
Wow.
They won't let him win 9 games.
Who? Who's they?
The owners.
The referees? Do you want me to dox the referees again?
Oh, here we go. Here we go.
I'm just kidding. All right, let's move to the next segment here. And Trent, you got our boomer here with some more NFL stuff.
Yeah, and I want to, we're looking at team overs and unders on win totals. And I just want us to kind of rattle off where you're at, over, under. If you have something to add, we keep it brief and we keep moving. Okay. Obviously, when we get to our teams, I'm guessing there's going to be some controversy. So I'm going to start with, you guys tell me, do you want me to start with the Super Bowl favorite and work my way down to the least favorite for the Super Bowl? Or do you want me to go all the way in reverse direction? What do you guys want?
I say let's do reverse.
No, dude, start at the top because I feel like the top's easier. And then when you get to the bottom teams, it's tougher.
Really? Okay. I disagree. I think when you get lower numbers, I think it's easier. But let's go. The Kansas City Chiefs, their win total is set right now, and this is via CBS Sports. Odds are from. We're not really going to give the odds unless you guys want to know, hey, what's the favorite, the over or the under? I will tell you that if you ask. But from Caesars Sportsbook, so we got Kansas City Chiefs, 11.5 wins. Trey, over, under? Over. Tyler?
Under.
I
think I had exactly 11.
Yeah, that's the only thing is I think 11 is a good number.
That's a pretty good little hook there. But yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, I'm going under. Okay. I'm going under.
I saw a 10.5 a while ago, and I would have went over for sure then.
Interesting.
Yeah, there's no way they go 10 and 7.
Well, that's not now. Let's go. Cincinnati Bengals are next up with 11.5.
Under.
Over.
I am going to go under as well because I actually believe the Ravens take that that division title.
Real quick, I'm only taking that because I don't think Joe Burrow is going to be ready for a couple weeks.
Ooh, yeah.
I think his injury is more severe than people understand.
Jamar Chase did tell him to sit out the first 4 to 5 weeks of the season. So, interesting there.
Yep.
Let's go Philadelphia Eagles, 11.5 wins.
Under.
Well, I gotta, I've been on this wagon of support, and I'm going over, guys.
Jeez, Trent, the Eagles fan over here.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
Forgot he changed his allegiance.
I did not, and I will not. But, well, another time, another place about my fan allegiance. But let's go the San Francisco 49ers.
So I wonder what Trey's going to say, no matter what the number is.
10.5.
Under.
Jackass.
No, I'm just kidding.
He's so dumb.
That was good.
In all seriousness, I'm going to go under, though. I don't think they won 11 games.
I'm going over because I think their division's pretty weak.
You could have just said they're just so good and they're my favorite team.
Yeah.
I think they win 11 or 12.
It's all right, Ty. I'm going over as well. Wait for it, Trey. Go ahead.
Cue Trey.
Ooh.
I'm just keep my mouth shut.
All right, next up, Buffalo Bills, 10.5.
Over.
Wow. Over.
I am under 10.5.
Okay. Man.
Under. I think they
have
a
good line.
Very bad.
11.
I'm not sold on them this year. Let's go Jacksonville Jaguars. They're at 10 even here.
Hold on a second. Jacksonville Jaguars are this high up in Super Bowl favorites?
Oh,
probably.
I'm sorry,
17?
they're not. There's a couple that are starting to get out of order. Everything up until that point,
okay,
we're up in that order.
Hold on a second. You just went from like these teams, and you're like Jacksonville Jaguars.
You know what? I apologize. The order that I think they are in. No, it's very close to being right.
Wow,
very close.
What's
They're right. We're hitting middle of the pack, kind of. There's a couple teams. The next 3 teams I say are actually have. I don't know if you want to say lesser odds to win the Super. Like they're more favored to win the Super Bowl over the Jags. But let's keep going. Jacksonville Jaguars 10 wins.
10, not 10.5.
No, they're
It's
even 10 via Caesars.
Under.
Over.
Wow. Did they win the division last year?
Barely.
Yes.
If they won the division, that means they're going to have to play all the top dogs from the AFC. So I'm actually going to go push. No, I'm just kidding. Under.
There's a twist.
Yes. I wouldn't mind saying that you can make on FanDuel exact win bets in case anybody's feeling real crazy. Don't recommend it. But
pretty fun.
Oh, Trey's on it. All right, let's go. Dallas Cowboys over under 9.5.
Trey.
Over.
Under. Dak Prescott makes it through 5 games.
Jeez. Tyler, do you think the whole league is going like 7-10 or what? Like everything's been an under for you?
If you looked at the league last year, everybody was very run of the mill.
Run of the mill. Run in the mill, sit in my crawl. All right, here we go. Let's go. Let's go. Dallas Cowboys 9.5. I'm going over on that. It's going to be a pretty phenomenal divisional run between Cowboys and Eagles.
So you're saying that the Eagles have double-digit wins and the Cowboys?
Yeah, I don't know if it's even possible, but I'm going to. Yep.
Okay. All right.
I'm not running that. I'm just listen. This is.
I know. I'm just asking. Right. I mean, that's
ready?
A pretty hefty
Baltimore
division.
Ravens 9.5.
9.5.
Under. I say under.
I'm going to say under too.
Ooh, not so fast. Baltimore Ravens over 9.5 for me. Healthy J.K. Dobbins, who, if you look at his production last games of the season, killed it. Zay Flowers, potential offensive rookie of the year. And Lamar is paid and happy. Hopefully not paid and lazy, paid and happy. So
they got some talented tight ends there too.
Yeah, I'm going over. And that defense is tough. So,
yeah. What did you say, 9.5?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm still going under.
I thought I might have convinced you there.
No,
anyway.
I know. I was thinking. I'm like, they have Odell. They have Lively. Yeah, I'll still go under.
New York Jets, 9.5.
Over.
Say over.
Tyler, you and I already have a beverage bet on this. I'm taking under.
I know we do.
So no chance.
I think they win 10.
Yep.
9.
10 or 11.
Nope.
Yep.
Nope. Wrong.
All
right. Detroit Lions, 9.5.
Under.
That's what? Vikings, Lions, Packers, Bears, right?
Bears.
Oh gosh.
And
I'm gonna go on the bandwagon, and I'm saying over.
I'm saying over because they get a really good Week 1 win against Kansas City opening night.
No way.
Wow.
Yes. I mean, one of the easiest divisions in football right now. So besides the Vikings.
But everybody's counting the Vikings out, which is nuts to me.
Wait. Wow, I didn't expect Tyler to speak first after I said that. But, all right, let's...
I'm just ignoring you.
Oh, okay. Chargers, 9.5.
Over.
Under.
I'm going under as well because I think Staley gets fired midseason. Let's go Dolphins, 9.5. Now, Trey, be careful. You got some very, very close listeners out there. And
Under.
Oh, wow. Sorry, Z-Bly.
Yeah.
I'm also.
I think that's too tough.
I'm also saying under. I don't think Tua makes it through first half of the season.
Guys, he's taking jiu-jitsu classes to learn to fall on his back,
I
right?
don't give a shit what he's taking. He's not going to make it through the first half.
That's coming from some pretty biased Dolphins fans. But I do...
some guys.
Some guys.
Oh, boy.
But anyway...
Bunch of fellas.
I love the Finns, I guess. But let's go... I think the Dolphins, because I love their head coach, I'm taking the over. I actually think they win this division.
Oh, my gosh.
I do love their coach.
I really do.
But
believe me, Tyler, you'll vouch for this.
I'm,
the Dolphins I'm by no fans a Dolphins fan here.
You think the Dolphins beat the Jets and the Bills?
They at least split with them. I mean, hell, the Dolphins almost beat the Bills.
The Dolphins, you think win the division, Trent?
Split. They could go 1-1 when they play.
I'm saying you think they win the division over the Bills and the Jets?
Bills, Jets. Yeah, I do. I really do. Hell, they almost beat them with Skyler or something, the Bills, in the playoffs. So.
I think Waddle got hurt, though.
It's dog days of camp, man. Give your athletes a rest. Say, hey, they got a strain. They got a sore quad. Give them a rest. There we go. Let's go Saints, 9.5.
9.5? Are you kidding me?
That's what it's at.
Under. Under.
Yeah, I'm going to go under as well.
Guys, watch out. John Gruden is an offensive consultant.
What? Is he allowed?
He is, because he dropped his lawsuits against the NFL over the email gate. So, I don't give a crap. I'm still going under myself.
He's allowed to work for him again?
He's like an unpaid consultant.
Unpaid.
Yep. Him and Derek Carr,
I'm also
neighbors.
doing air quotes, Trey. Unpaid.
Unpaid, yeah. Well, he doesn't need to be paid. He's got so much money. You know the Raiders paid his full contract off. Let's go Cleveland Browns, 9.5.
9.5 for the Browns.
Yeah?
Under.
Hey, I don't make the lines. I just read them to you guys.
Under. That's insane.
I'll take the under.
Yeah, that's too tough a division. I'm taking under, too. Steelers, 9.
Under.
9 is 9. 9, really?
9.
That's their line?
It is. I don't... Listen, this is Caesar's Sportsbook, which we don't tend to use too often, but I'd imagine on DraftKings and FanDuel, they're not giving. Do they actually give like no 0.5s on some of the lines? I haven't looked, but
I don't know.
I haven't seen any since I looked.
I think they always give a half. My guess is if it's 9, they're probably making it 8.5.
You play what? 17 games, right?
Yes, so that means they're 9 and 8.
Now? So you'd have to go above 500.
You know, Tomlin doesn't go below 500.
I know, and I bet against him.
Except for this year, under.
Man. Trey's predicting Mike Tomlin's first ever under 500 season.
I'm going to join Trey in that. I'm going under as well. I did it last year and lost by a game, which is bullshit, but I'm going under again.
Yeah, I'm going under as well, just so I can continue to cheer against them. Sorry, Steelers listeners, but yeah.
Sorry, not sorry.
This one surprised me. I'm just going to start us off with the Seahawks at 9. I'm going to take the surprising over.
Gosh,
I am as well.
At least 10-7.
10-7.
At least.
Oh no way! I'm taking way under. I think they win 5 games.
I think they win that division.
Oh gosh.
5 games. Oh, there he is. Let's go Vikings. 8.5.
I hate the Seahawks.
Okay.
I say over.
What did you say? I didn't even hear the number.
Sorry, you were just raged.
Sorry. Well, when he said they win the division, that's absurd.
Literally, there was like a deep. I hate the Seahawks.
I don't think the Seahawks winning the division is so absurd.
It's super absurd.
I think they drafted phenomenally the past 2 years, but
they won't stay healthy.
It's just me. All right, Vikings 8.5.
I say over.
I'll say over as well. I don't know why everybody's underplaying them this year. I don't understand that besides the Dalvin Cook thing. I mean, that I can get, but you're the best receiver. You're the best receiver in football.
I'm more worried about the Vikings than I am the Lions as a Packers fan.
Well, okay. Fair
enough.
Fair. I mean, you do have Justin Jefferson, who's
dude. Just put the ball somewhere.
The best receiver in the league, I think we could say. Yeah. I'm gonna go over as well. Didn't they win like 13 games last year? But they were still just a laughing stock for some reason. People still just hated on them all the time. But I'll go over 8.5.
I would also agree. Just so you guys know, I would put Justin Jefferson over Patrick Mahomes as number 1 player in top 100.
Wow.
Yep,
wow.
I would.
Patrick Mahomes is the Steph Curry of the NFL. Yeah, he's going to get every darn whatever recognition that you can get.
Sponsorship.
So, yeah, he just accolade. That's what I was looking for.
That's what I said. I just said accolade.
Sorry. Yeah, I was agreeing with you, Ty. But all right, let's go. Let's keep moving here. I don't want to just keep. We're getting down to the nitty gritty ones here. Falcons 8.5.
Under.
Yeah, I agree. Under.
Except they do have the rookie offensive player of the year.
Yeah.
Yep.
I can't believe. Well, but how about him being listed as 3rd on the depth chart?
He'll be fine.
What?
Yeah.
Just toying. Yes. They're just toying with people's minds.
This one is easy money. And that is the Broncos 8.5.
Under.
Way under.
Under.
Yeah, I'll go under.
Under. Yeah. Russell Wilson's replaced by week 6. Jarrett Stidham takes over as quarterback. Might win a couple of games.
I love Stidham.
No, I hate Russell Wilson.
It's
more that I hate Russell Wilson, but I also think that Stidham's more of a Sean Payton quarterback than Russell Wilson is. Okay. The only thing that Russell Wilson has in common with Sean Payton quarterback is his size, because he's tiny.
Wow.
He's like a miniature M&M.
Sean Payton ripping other head coaches and bongs. Man.
Did you see that video?
Jeez, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. What's crazy is I think people thought it was going to bring him down, but I feel like the internet made him somewhat cooler to some people. I don't know.
He's in Colorado.
Yeah, it's true.
They did change his name to Jack the Ripper. He ripped it.
Yeah.
I was super confused. Jack Payton. I was like, the hell. Yeah, that was pretty rough one there.
Move on. It wasn't,
all right. Chicago Bears 7.5.
Under.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Although I think Justin Fields has his most respectful year of his career.
Take Justin Fields under rushing.
You hear that, Tyler?
Take his under rushing yards this year, because he gets hurt halfway through the season.
Ooh, jeez.
I'm not wishing injuries. I just think that a lot of these guys, you see every year, like, oh my gosh, this is the next guy. He's the guy. Dude, he's what, the favorite to win the MVP. There's no way in hell he wins the MVP.
Hold on, not the favorite. He's the most bet on. Yeah.
What I heard there from Trent sounded like a little bit of backpedaling.
What?
Because I remember Trent saying he would rather have, I think, Justin Fields over Mac Jones or some other quarterback.
Yes, I did say that.
He said he thinks he's going to have an MVP type year.
Yes.
And now his little tune changed a little bit. It goes to he'll have a respectable year.
There's a tiny tune. Tiny tune over there.
Hold on there, tuners. I did not say MVP year did not come out of my mouth. Did I say would I rather have Justin Fields over Mac Jones? Absolutely. Absolutely, I would. Athletic-wise, absolutely.
Respectable year.
Yep. I'll take it. Easy, Jack the Payton, whatever. All right, Green Bay Packers. Here we go. Look at this line. 7.5.
That's sad. As an owner, I'm definitely going to have to go with the over. I think we're going to have – it's actually crazy that the Packers are going to have 3 straight Hall of Fame quarterbacks. And, I mean, we're blessed as a franchise, honestly.
How many Super Bowls are you going to have between them?
I think Love is going to win 2 himself.
Yeah, they'll still have 2 between the 3.
Trey.
No way.
Trey, I guarantee Love wins less than 2 Super Bowls in his career. Bet me a whole case of beer right now.
Jeez. Well,
I'll also put in on that case.
Whoa.
Okay, hold on a second. Now, hold on. Can I at least watch this season?
Tyler, do you hear this tiny tune?
Tiny tunes.
Tiny tune. Look at
Tiny Tunes.
First of all, that's not a Tiny Toon change. That's just me trying to be smart before making a case-worthy bet. So I still have confidence that he will win 2 Super Bowls, and I think he's going to be a Hall of Fame quarterback. But no, I don't want to wager a case just yet.
Now I actually think it's a teeny tiny tune. That's what I'm calling it out on. I'm just saying. A lot of backtrack there.
Kind of sound like a
Mr.
I did not backtrack.
I mean, if you run, Trey, you run the tape, you're like, 3 Hall of Fame quarterbacks. I'm a Packers owner.
I still stand by that, but I just am not. I mean, I don't want to bet a case with both of you guys. That's insane.
Do it right now, because you know what's crazy is we're gonna know after this year it's not gonna happen because this is Jordan Love's last year.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Wow is right, Trey.
Yep.
All right, I'll bet you a case on
that.
No, we're doing the Super Bowl thing.
Super Bowl thing. 2 Super Bowls, over under 2, and I'm taking under 2.
You kind of sound, Trey.
Why don't you do 1.5?
Trey, you kind of sound like a pianist.
Yeah, that makes Trey. Your line made a lot more sense. Sorry. Yeah, under 1.5.
Trey, you sound like a pianist playing the tiniest of tunes.
Oh no! I'm honking a big tune here, and that's the tune that I love.
You pianist!
What the hell's honking?
I got a tuba. I got a
French horn.
I got a tuba out there playing my tune.
No.
I thought you played the flute.
That's right. What kind of flute?
I'll keep this PG. Don't worry.
What kind of flute?
PG.
Jazz flute.
Jazz flute. All right, let's keep rolling because
Shirts
we're
or
going to
skins?
stay on that.
There it is.
That was good.
What?
That was good.
What?
That was very good. That was good. That was good. All right.
I was trying to think of a good way to do it.
Carolina Panthers 7.5.
Under.
Over.
Okay.
Well.
Yep. I think they're gonna push for that division. I don't know. I just really do. Let's go New York Giants 7.5.
Over. Trying to probably say over 11 because every team in that division is gonna have double digit wins.
That's what I'm realizing that now. I guess I'm gonna have to go under. Sophomore slump.
Huh. For who?
All right.
For who?
Who's a sophomore?
Brian Daboll.
Oh, the coach.
Yeah, come on.
Okay.
This is only his second year,
guys. Yeah.
For the Giants.
I thought it was his third year.
Second year as the head coach. Come on, go with it. All right, so let's go Patriots 7.5.
Wow, that's a tough one.
This is easy. This is easy. Under 7.5 because he is a much worse year than Justin Fields.
Here we go.
I'm going under as well.
I'm gonna go under, but I think they win 7.
Yeah, I could say that.
They go 7-10, and Bill Belichick resigns. What?
Whoa.
Yeah.
I mean,
Ballsy.
Robert Kraft wants to win. He's not.
Doesn't Bill Belichick have more losses than wins in his career? Did you ever see that stat?
I mean, that's.
Does he?
I mean,
Yeah.
coached.
No, that's true.
He coached the Browns, so it's possible.
Yeah.
But
yeah.
All right, here we go. Ready? Titans 7.5.
I go over.
I'm going over too.
Yeah, 8-9 finish. Guys, Raiders 7.5.
I was really wrong about Belichick, but go ahead.
Yeah,
I was gonna say that. I don't think
really
that's
wrong.
good.
Thanks for research.
Like 130 games wrong.
That's a sad tune.
Yeah.
That's what we're gonna play right there.
That's a sad pianist.
Let's go Raiders 7.5. I'm going under.
I'm gonna go under.
I'm gonna go over because I think Jimmy gets you at least 9.
Oh my god!
Wow, 9-8, middle of the board draft pick. We're crashing for Caleb, guys. It's way under.
You can't hate. You can't hate on Jimmy that much.
Yeah.
Oh, I can.
All right, ready? Colts 6.5.
Oh man, that's tough.
I go under.
I'm gonna say over. I think they're gonna get 7.
Wow.
I'm not sold on Anthony Richardson, and I don't think Jonathan Taylor's gonna play a lot. I think it's under.
I think if Jonathan Taylor is not playing, I think it's way under.
Yeah. No, I agree with that, but I'm gonna go with thing that he is playing.
That's a lot of pressure on that rookie quarterback. I mean, he's huge, but I don't know.
I think Steichen gets him to do some things though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Let's go Commanders 6.5.
Who?
The Washington Commanders.
Wait till they change their name back to their original team.
I think Magic Johnson's going to do it.
Dude, Redskins are coming back, dude.
No way.
Yes, they are. Yes,
I think they are. Trey.
Yes,
I think they are.
Yep.
Over 70,000 signatures.
77,000, Trent, as of tonight.
Sorry. It was 70 yesterday. I apologize. Yep. All right, so they are at 6.5.
I say, ready for this? Over.
Woo.
Ooh. Okay.
I think Sam Howell at the moon. I think he's the real deal.
Ooh, man. You're a little natural Chris Bourbon over there.
Yeah, right.
Look at that. Sam Howell at the moon.
Yeah.
You just had to give a little howl there,
Trey. Scared my dog half to death.
You give a little howl there? Yeah, there you go. Sam Howell.
That's pretty good. Yeah.
That was good.
Trey, that was a pretty authentic wolf. We're going to have you do that more often. maybe even in public.
And shirtless. And shirtless.
Yeah.
And shirtless. All right.
Got that picture too.
I'm going under. I think it's a transition year. I just don't see it.
Yeah, I'm gonna go under too.
Ron Rivera fired.
Yep.
Eric Bieniemy, interim head coach. Sorry.
And then also fired when he's that bad.
Ooh, wow. I like Bieniemy. I do.
I think he's overrated.
Okay. We'll see. We will see.
I think he was overrated too, but I still think he's an okay coach.
Yeah, he's catching a lot of heat there.
He's too tough on the players.
Yeah, well. Yeah, got to be careful. Different day and age. But let's go Rams 6.5.
Under.
I'm with you guys. Yep. Once again, Stetson Bennett will be their starter by the end of the year. Let's go Tampa Bay Buccaneers 6.5.
Under.
I'm gonna go over.
Todd Bowles gets fired.
What? The Buccaneers might have 2 wins.
Okay.
Whoa,
we'll
2?
See.
Wow.
Maybe.
You think they're going to be that terrible?
They're going to be that bad.
O-line is going to be back. Give Baker time. Really good receiving core. Yeah, and then I also think that defense is still okay. They're going to get healthy this year.
I'm surprised you think 2, Trey, because their receivers are like top core receivers.
I don't think Mike Evans stays there long. And I don't know. You got to have someone to throw it to him.
All right. Let's go Houston Texans 6.5.
Over. Yep.
Oh, you're both on the over on that.
Both on the over.
Yes.
Wow. I'm going under.
Not because of C.J. Stroud, though.
Okay.
This is all D'Amico Ryans.
I'm going under.
Trey.
I'm under. All right, last one. Cardinals 4.5.
Under.
I'll go under.
They win 1 game at most.
Whoa, 1.
One game.
Can I follow this up, because I also say under. Do they draft a quarterback?
You'd be smart to.
They're going to draft Caleb Williams, Trent.
Ooh,
don't say that's just making me.
Watch out now.
That hurts my feelings. But now you're essentially drafting a similar style in the sense of, like, he was at Oklahoma under Lincoln Riley. He's now under Lincoln Riley at USC, and you're gonna go all in on him again. Like that. I don't know. That's another conversation. But I think we're all in the under 4.5 on the Cardinals, correct?
Definitely under 4.5.
Yes.
I say 1 or 2.
All right. And guys, that rounds us out for the NFL overs, unders, win totals.
Boomers are done. All right, yes. I like that, man. I do. I'm so excited to have so much more football to talk about.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, can you guys? It is so close. It is so close. Yeah. I just had a conversation today about that feeling of when you can just, like, wake up on a Saturday and it's kind of cool out, you know, and college game days on, and you just post up on the couch and you're like, what am I doing today?
See, for me, it's a brisk day. I got the brisk day, but I like to get out and maybe golf at 18. Get back by like 11:30 to 12. You know what I mean? Already a little buzzed from the round, and then just kick back all day.
Yeah, Trey, those were the days for you, but those are not days in your future. I'm sorry.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Diaper Dan over there.
Man can dream.
All right, so transition, quick MLB.
Let's do it.
All right, so we'll jump into our bet bail back, getting into the MLB here. We are getting close. Are we getting close? Hunt for October?
October.
Yeah.
Getting a little bit close. So I do know, as an informal Orioles podcast here, Orioles are doing pretty well. So some interesting things here to kind of discuss. But yeah, let's get into our bet, bail, and back. Anybody want to start us off with what they are supporting right now in baseball? What do they like? What do they like to support?
Anybody want to go first? I will.
Yeah, I'll go first.
Trey, go ahead.
I'm backing, or what is this, betting?
Oh my gosh.
Yep, bet. There it is.
Every single week.
I'm sorry.
He messes it up.
They're so similar. The B's, the bets, the backs.
It's kind of the whole point of the brand. So
I know. It's just tough. It's tough.
Good God.
And what I love is the no-hitter by Michael Lorenzen in the Phillies.
Okay.
Talk about winning the trade deadline, making a statement. First home game he's pitching for his new team. There's a no in front of the home crowds. I mean, that's pretty awesome. I also thought a little cool statistic that was attached to his no-hitter is that he's the fourth MLB pitcher from Cal State Fullerton Union High School, or Cal Fullerton Union High School, and all four of them have thrown a no-hitter in the major leagues.
Wow.
Isn't that crazy?
Yeah, that's pretty impressive.
That's very
impressive.
Let me look up who the other ones were. I didn't get to that far.
Well.
Trent, what do you love? While Trey looks that up, and then we'll come back to him.
So it's a tricky time of the year, as really the playoff pictures, for the most part, you're seeing a lot of teams start to, pull away, I would say. There's a couple that are pretty competitive, but I think that's the key right now with betting baseball is stay engaged in the playoff race when making your bets. To the sense that, I'm looking at teams like the Reds, teams like, and I know these teams aren't that great, but Guardians, Twins, all in there. The Brewers, those are teams that are in the mix for wild card division type places. So you got to be careful because it's really, really tough. If you were on teams all year that are typically top dogs, sometimes it's really hard to find a suitable line. Prime example, I think tonight was Kershaw's first game back, and they were minus 405 on the money line.
Wow.
So yeah, and that's pretty. That might have been the highest line I've seen all year. So that was against the Rockies.
That's kind of very similar to how the NHL does it too, towards the end.
Yeah, so you really gotta stay engaged with the playoff picture. When betting baseball in August, I think. So, that's what I'm betting on is just pay attention to your picks based on the playoff standings right now.
That's good.
That's good advice. Yep. Definitely.
What do I love right now? I love Ryan Mountcastle's hitting streak.
Damn you.
Oh,
damn you.
What's it at?
He is at 11 games. He's got 18 hits, 2 home runs, 9 RBIs. He has 6 walks, and his batting average right now through this 11 games is 474.
Wow.
So right now he's not the top in terms of hit streaks. He's actually 4th. But I love to see what he's doing right now. He's a beast, man. And
yeah.
That kind of goes to kind of what the Orioles have been able to do lately. So that's what I love. I love Ryan Mountcastle's hitting streak right now at 11 games. All right.
Before we move on to Bale, the other pitchers are Steve Busby, Walter Johnson, Hall of Famer, and Mike Warren, all from Fullerton Union High School, and have all thrown no-hitters.
Wow, interesting.
Yep. Yeah. So we can move on to Bale now.
Nope. Yes. Okay.
You sure it's Bale?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's definitely Bale next.
All right, go ahead, Bale.
Do you want to start, Trent, or?
No, you go ahead.
All right. Right now, I would say for me, it's the Cy Young races. I'm bailing on those. They're just not fun. No one really sticks out. Right now, I'm seeing a couple relievers up there that are top of the Cy Youngs, including Batista. But most years you get 2 or 3 guys that are throwing gem after gem, winning their teams every game. And this year you just don't hear about it. But the guys that are at the top of the Cy Young for a while, they end up just kind of faltering down to the bottom, middle of the pack again. So I know people are saying Gallen, Snell, those guys, but yeah, I don't know. It's not my cup of tea this year.
Wonder if that's pitch clock induced. Who knows?
It could be. Yeah.
I will say. Go ahead.
I did place a wager on Batista.
Yeah.
But that kind of went to crap, giving up a grand slam the other night in the 9th. That hurt.
Last 2 games, man, he's kind of not been good.
Yeah. Hey, get it out of his system now.
Yeah.
Get it out of his system.
Trey, kind of touch on your Cy Young thing. I think that these Cy Young winners are the lip saddles. I'm either going with I do actually have a bet on Strider to win it.
Okay.
But then the other two that I'm looking at there are JP France, and Miklas from the Cardinals.
Wow, really?
I don't have bets on. I'm kidding, guys. All right, but those are three best lip saddles in the game.
Okay, I was gonna say I think Strider. I was like, I'll back you on the Strider one.
I do have a bet. I do have a bet on Strider. I do have that bet.
Yeah.
No.
But the other two, I just think that
Snell's getting that.
Who?
Snell,
No.
he's getting that.
No.
100%.
So
yes.
So what about Ohtani?
No.
I don't know, man.
Yeah.
It's tough. It's hard for me to like when I try to cap Ohtani. It's so hard because it's tough to find his pitching stats, but it's very easy to find his batting stats. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
And he's been getting like little tweaky injuries right now.
he needs to go somewhere.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh man, we're making an investment to win the playoffs with him. Oh crap, you are. You're losing everything right now. So that GM needs to be fired. But I'm going to go ahead and jump on my bail. My bail is full game run lines.
Oh.
As you guys know, I'm a big fan of the half game. First 5 run lines. But when you go full game, once again, you run into the stupid stuff with the relievers, the bullpen blowing it, and there's nothing worse. There's really, really nothing worse than when you take a full game run line. Which, if you bet baseball, full game run lines are always minus 1.5, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
right.
And there's nothing worse when your team is the away team. They're up 1 run, and you're going into the bottom of the 9th. Like, it's like, oh, this is totally depleting. Like, it's just a terrible feeling.
Helpless.
You're praying for extra innings.
Yep.
But yes, I that's something that, I fall back into it every now and then, especially when you see a really, really good team like, the Atlanta Braves, who were stuck on like 70 wins forever and couldn't get past that bump. Against the Pirates, who they should be smacking around. But, hell, the Pirates actually they smacked around Strider this series recently. So, full game run lines, nope, going to stay away from them.
All right. My bail. Oh, man. Sorry, I just lost it. I'm bailing on the. This is gonna sound terrible, but I'm bailing on Mitch Keller.
As a pitcher in general, huh?
Yeah, I can't cap him anymore. And if you want to take it a step further, I'm actually bailing. What I hate is I hate the K-prop lines right now. And the reason I hate them is because they're really good. Meaning, like, they're setting the lines really well, which is frustrating. So, got one today, which was nice. Obviously, as Bearded Baker bets, we went 3-0 today, which was awesome. So shout out to that.
Too.
Yeah, all in that Orioles Astros game. But yeah, I'm leaving Mitch Keller. I know in the beginning of the season Mitch Keller's my guy. I can't figure him out. He's capped at 5.5 Ks every game now, and he's either getting 1 or 9. So I'm staying away. I'm not on the Keller bandwagon.
Ty, wouldn't you say with K props that it gets much harder towards the end of the year? Because I feel like when you had your crazy K prop streak.
Yeah.
I believe it was 2 years ago, maybe 3, where you were literally, it was
about a year or 2 ago, yeah.
Yeah, it was hitting like an unbelievable rate. But, I mean, it's like K-props or something, especially as you get to playoffs, is like typically a tough thing to cap, because especially in playoff baseball.
Yeah, and what I learned from the whole K-prop thing was that back when I had the streak, a year or so ago, it was everything was the over. And I was taking the over, and it was, hey, all right, here's what you capped at, here's what you capped at. And all of a sudden, like, the over was just not hitting at all. So I learned, I think, at least, from evolving and watching the pitchers and, seeing what they do and also paying attention to even team stats in terms of how many strikeouts a game they get. I've learned to really I kind of love the unders a little bit more at times. I am finding, though, that some of these unders right now are like guaranteed money. It's you're minus 150, minus 170. And I'm like, I don't know. I do like the fact that Barstool Sportsbook right now at least has 3 options, which is kind of nice for K-props. But today with the Hunter Brown thing, I told you, Trent, earlier, I said he's had 4 Ks the last 3 games. And before that, it was like 7, 8, 6, 9, whatever. And I think he was capped at 4.5, and I took the over, and I knew, he had 7. So and that was against the tough Orioles team. I had a feeling. Yeah. So, but kind of figuring out, where it's at. It was over, then it was under for a while, and I kind of feel like we're getting a little bit back to over a little bit because there's some pitchers that are capped a little bit low, but they are capping them well. So, all right, last one here. Backing. What are you guys supporting?
All right, I can start us off. One, Tyler, you took one of my backings, which was Ryan Mountcastle's incredible, not just his hit streak, but just how he's doing the past 23 games. 400 average, 28 hits, 4 home runs, 13 RBIs, 1.128 OPS. So, dude is just going off right now. Missed a lot of time with vertigo earlier in the year. So the fact that the Orioles were able to stay on top, I mean, hell, back to being an Orioles podcast, this was a tough week for them. They went 4-2, and they pulled, I think they gained 2 more games on the race, to pull ahead of them. Yeah. So that's what good teams do is they make it through some battles, but they're still figuring out ways to stay ahead in their battle. So when you see the Orioles, and I don't like when this happens, if you see the Orioles go down 0-2 in a series, make sure you bet on them because it doesn't matter how big of a dog they are. Today they were a dog, I believe.
But the other 2 games they were favorites.
Yeah, so they have the 5th longest streak in MLB history since the 1942-44 Cardinals for not getting swept. So 76 consecutive series. Really, I mean,
what
you can kind of...
What's that number?
76 consecutive series without being swept. And this streak has started since, in my mind, he's my MVP. But Adley Rutschman, since he's been called up,
he's buying me.
First, he's my MVP.
Oh. I think he said he's buying me pee. I'm like, what's that mean?
Nope, that's a weird thing. Weird thing. Nobody would really ever say that. But
that's why I was confused.
He's my MVP. In case we didn't hear that correctly, he was the first, I believe, this year, left-handed batter to hit it over that newly extended left field wall today in the opposite field home run too. So very interesting Orioles stats. But let's go O's. That's what I'm backing.
Trey, if you don't mind, can I do my backing?
Yes,
Trent let me into it. I am backing a future MVP trophy for Adley Rutschman. That's literally my backing. I looked at his stats this year. I don't know if this is the year, but he is my future MVP. Not buying my pee, but my future MVP is Adley Rutschman. So, again, I think young dude, he's a great batter, good guy, good head on his shoulders. I really hope the Orioles keep him, treat him well.
Oh, they will.
do what has to be done because he's a special player, man.
Yeah, absolutely. Mine kind of goes back to our actual betting stuff here. I'm backing walk props as a whole as for what I'm doing. Been having a lot of
tell us your record.
Yeah, give us the numbers. Give us the numbers.
Up to date, we are 69-41.
It's impressive.
So I think that's like 60, almost 63% like hit rates. I mean, that's pretty. And at first I was a little hesitant because some of the lines, it's like 150, 170. I know we cap our plays at like 180 as our max, but the more I think of it is if they're those lines and they win, a win's a win. So I mean, I'll take the units any day of the week. I don't care what the odds are, but yeah, it's been pretty consistent. It's true to the odds and everything. So I've been enjoying it. That's what I'm betting and backing.
Sweet, love it.
Yeah.
Anything else to add, guys? I know Phil Mickelson was in the news. We don't have to talk a lot about it, but very interesting that he's able to actually gamble on golfing while he is golfing. Found that a little odd.
Estimated $1 billion plus lost in gambling.
Crazy.
No, not lost.
I thought it was gambled. Sorry,
gambled,
Wagered.
Yeah.
Wagered. Okay, that's still. What did they? How many baseball bets in one day? I don't know if anybody caught that number. It was like he made 43 different MLB bets in one day.
Yeah,
like that's nuts. I mean, sometimes I feel a little bit like, oh man, I got a parlay, I got our recipe picks, I got a couple side but 43. Now that's just nuts.
So the one story I always crack up at whenever I hear about Phil and gambling is recently when the PGA and Live merger happened. Of course, all the people in both parties, both sides of the aisle, are tweeting about it, making their little subtle jabs and stuff. And Phil made his subtle jab, and some random guy quote tweeted it and said like, "Oh, don't worry, Phil. Like now, the Live money you took to pay back all your gambling debt like isn't like as dirty as what it looks." And he responded to it and said like, "Oh, I haven't placed a wager in months or years, and that's not a problem anymore. So thanks for your concern," or something like that. I was like, "Oh, good for him, like sticking up for himself and everything." But then someone responded to that tweet, another random guy, and goes, "I'm friends with a lower level PGA Pro or PGA Tour player that says you were playing guys for $1,000 per practice round the other week." And Phil responds, he goes, "Well, I don't count that as placing a wager. I count that as creating competition."
Gosh,
spoken like a true degenerate guy. That cracks me up.
Phil Cavs Mickelson. I'll tell you what, that guy.
Yeah, holy crap,
dude. Hey, everybody's favorite golfer Rory had a response to that today too.
I know.
Who gives a hell about that guy?
Did you see his comment though?
Yeah.
No, I didn't.
Can bet on it.
Yeah, because he won't be playing it. Yeah. Ridiculous.
Wow.
I can't believe. I mean, I hope it's like all in good fun because I don't care what your opinions are, but to talk about someone that was a trailblazer for the game of golf, I mean, you can't. I think that's pretty disrespectful.
Yeah.
Listen, in my opinion, Rory is just sour because he was supposed to be like the Tiger Woods protege. Nike signs him, and what is it? How many years now since he won a major?
A lot.
It's at least 9.
Yeah.
So I think he's just sour. He's just,
Yeah. I think also the PGA made him look stupid, sticking his neck out for him, defending him to the day the deal was done.
Yeah, for real.
To me, right now, he is like a WWE villain. Like, I think everyone just is hating him. I don't know. I hate him.
Like Kurt Angle.
Yeah. Well, hey, you can't hate Kurt Angle.
Well, I like him now.
Come on now.
Olympic
Olympic gold, broken neck. Come on, Trey.
I know.
Jeez.
All right. Well, hey, appreciate everybody listening. If you're listening on this Friday morning, we will have a baseball board for you to also follow. Check that out.
That's right.
But yeah, appreciate everybody listening. Have a great weekend.
Yeah. Take it easy, fellas.
See you guys.